Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
And a little bit of light patchy rain for us this morning. The main thing you'll notice is temperatures are warmer. I'll walk you through the day with our chance for rain and the warmer temperatures.
Morrisville fire relief. Dozens of people were displaced after a devastating apartment fire. How the Red Cross is stepping in to help as investigators search for what caused this. And economy focused. Affordability was one of the many topics that took center stage during President Trump's State of the Union address. The response from North Carolina leaders. Well, thanks so much for waking up with us dark and early here on WRAL News on your Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. I'm Chris Lovingood. We'll go ahead and swing over to meteorologist Elizabeth Garter because you've got a weather maker that you've been talking about with the potential for rain coming up soon.
We have a system that's headed our way and way out ahead of it. We're dealing with just a little bit of patchy rain showing up on the radar. Not much in our viewing area, but up around Mecklenburg County, Virginia, and right here from Johnston County over toward Wilson and Wayne counties. Just a little sprinkle. What we see this morning will be very light and patchy. It's only about a 20% chance, and that'll take us up until around lunchtime. And then more rain develops overnight tonight, and we're looking at a better chance for rain Thursday and Thursday night, maybe even lingering into Friday. We take a live look at downtown Raleigh from our Dix Park camera. It is cloudy this morning, and the wind is now coming out of the southwest, so that's what's bringing warm air in this morning. Our temperature, 40 degrees, is at least 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, and our afternoon will be about 10 degrees warmer as well. We're above freezing, 39 in Roxborough, and then 40 for South Hill, Rocky Mount, Durham, and Raleigh, as well as Clinton, and 41 for Fayetteville, Southern Pines, and Goldsboro. Our temperatures will climb by lunchtime all the way up to 53, and we'll hold it in the upper 50s for this afternoon. Our warming trend continues, and as we look at tomorrow, it'll feel a lot different. A warm front comes in, brings us some chances for rain, especially during the commute tomorrow. We'll walk through it and talk about how much needed rain we could see, Chris.
All right, sounds good, Elizabeth. We'll come back to you in just a little bit for your full forecast. We want to get back to some breaking news that we've been following as a woman is seriously hurt after a shooting in Durham overnight. Let's show you some video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. This is on Danube Lane in North Durham from around 2:30 this morning. Police say they were called to the apartment complex around 11:15 and they found a woman who was shot. She was taken to the hospital and investigators say that her life is at risk here because of how serious the injuries are. Police say they do have a person in custody though. And the WRAL Breaking News Tracker also captured this, the moment firefighters pulled up to the scene of a truck fire overnight. This happened on US 13 in Cumberland County. There were several explosions that happened as a result of this. You just saw one right there on your screen. We have reached out to Highway Patrol to learn more, including what caused this fire. Today, investigators will return to the site where a massive apartment fire burned earlier this week. And they're going to spend more time assessing the damage that's left behind. Let's bring in WRAL's Ali Kabdabar. She is live at the Camden Westwood Apartments this morning. Ali, the Red Cross has since stepped in to help the dozens of people who are displaced from that fire.
And the Red Cross is expected to be back today to continue to help residents. Now, we did drive by the building earlier this morning, and there's a fence and tape surrounding it. We know state and local fire officials are still working to find out what sparked the fire. They sifted through 3 stories of charred debris yesterday. Now, Morrisville Fire Department did say it started on the first floor balcony Monday night. 5 people were rescued. 1 person was taken to the hospital, and the building is a total loss. It left 70 people without a home. Camden Westwood Apartments say they are working with residents to find them a vacant unit in the complex or nearby Camden properties, but residents are still replaying those shocking moments.
I'm seeing from the sidewalk, my room is on fire, the balcony's gone, and my roommate's windows are shattered.
Just devastating moments there. And this morning, we're working to find out answers to these questions you see on your screen. What is the cause of the fire? When was the last fire inspection? And did that inspection turn up with any maintenance issues? Now, when we hear back, we'll let you know. We're staying on top of this story. Reporting live in Morrisville, Ali Kabdabar, WRAL News.
Only on WRAL, we are hearing from a man who is remembering his friend who was shot to death Monday night in Morrisville. Police say John Fraser shot Zachary Horn near the Crumble Cookie Store in Park West Village. Horn died at the hospital. Parker Bryant became friends with Horn when they worked together as tile installers, and he says Horn was one of the biggest influences on his life.
I'm not sure if he ever knew, but I looked up to him like a father figure. He was there for me in my darkest times, And I know he was there for a lot of people when they needed him.
Now, Fraser made his first court appearance yesterday, charged with murder, and he's in jail without bond. Witnesses told WRAL an argument may have led to that shooting. WRAL is trying to learn new information about a chase that happened in Raleigh last night. This happened near the state capitol grounds. Police say the person was taken into custody after running from officers, but it's still unclear why police were chasing that person on foot. New this morning, we are asking Fayetteville Police and the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office about an investigation overnight. Look at this video that we took from overnight at Circle K on Ramsey Street from around 11 p.m. We're still trying to figure out exactly what they were investigating here. Happening today, Wake County EMS will be talking about the changes they're making to improve service across the area. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at the Wake County Emergency Service Center Education Center. And Kelsey, there will be several chances for people to learn a little bit more about this.
Yes, Chris, tonight you can learn more about what happens when you dial 911 so folks can get their questions answered here at the Wake Emergency Services Education Center. WRAL has been reporting on changes to Wake EMS's response protocol for months. So we caught up with the director of Wake EMS, John Stutnick, again yesterday. He says if you dial 911, it's important to be as detailed as possible when you explain your emergency to the operator. That's because they're now responding to calls based on who's in the most severe danger, not first come, first serve.
We want to prioritize the sickest patients in our community to make sure that they get the quickest response, and that all other patients who call 911 will have a reliable EMS response. And when we share that message, we know folks are going to have questions.
And another change to tell you all about, there's going to be less emergency lights and sirens. EMS leaders say that this is because it confuses drivers who may not know what to do, and that can lead to more crashes. So you can get all of your questions answered tonight at 7 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
President Donald Trump says America is back. That was a big message he sent during his State of the Union address last night. The president delivered the longest speech before a joint session of Congress in at least 6 decades. It lasted 1 hour and 48 minutes. He quickly touted wins that his administration has delivered. The president said gas prices were lower, the inflation rate was steadier, and the chance for Americans to own a home is easier. He also acknowledged security efforts at the U.S.-Mexico border, but also said the U.S. will, quote, always allow people to come in legally.
We now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
With midterm elections in November, the president said a vote for Democrats would be a vote to reopen the country's borders. Now, while announcing his accomplishments and praising invited guests, the president also criticized Democrats. Dozens of Democrats boycotted the address last night, while Virginia's governor, Abigail Spanberger, delivered the Democratic response. One of her criticisms was the administration's immigration enforcement efforts. She also said the president inflated his claims on public safety and is working for himself, not the American people.
Is the president working for you? No, you can demand more. And that we are working to lower costs. We are working to keep our communities and our country safe, and we are working for you.
Governor Spanberger said her party is seeking to gain control of Capitol Hill in this year's midterm elections. North Carolina lawmakers also weighed in on the president's address this morning. Republican Congressman David Rouser applauded the president's speech last night. In a statement, Rouser said, quote, President Trump reaffirmed his bold, visionary agenda for a stronger, more prosperous union, end quote. Democratic Representative Deborah Ross also released a statement. She said the president's speech, quote, was a giant slap in the face to every North Carolinian who is struggling to make ends meet and every American who believes our leaders should tell the truth. Our country deserves better, end quote. Well, new this morning that you will only see first on WRAL, Roy Cooper is launching a new statewide tour focused on inflation. The Democratic U.S. Senate candidates Make Stuff Cost Less tour as part of a broader Democratic response to President Donald Trump's State of the Union address. Trump touted his economic policies last night, defending his tariff strategy and efforts to tame inflation. One of the Republican candidates for Senate, Michael Whatley, said he strongly backs the president's economic policies. But a survey from Fox News and a poll from the Washington Post show many Americans disapprove of Trump's handling of tariffs, inflation, and the economy in general. A dozen candidates are running for the state's open U.S. Senate seat. And for more on their plans to boost affordability, you can head online to WRAL.com. UNC leaders will vote on possible tuition hikes across North Carolina today. And after this vote at the university level, the Board of Governors will vote tomorrow. Now, if these hikes are approved, students could see $49 million in tuition hikes across the state. Out-of-state undergraduates would see the biggest jump. There are 16 schools in the UNC system, including NC State, UNC Chapel Hill, and North Carolina A&T. Today's vote begins at 9:30 a.m., and you can follow the updates that we have on WRAL.com and our news app. Your time this morning is 4:40, missing Epstein files. A CNN review says dozens of FBI witness interviews were not released. How the White House is responding to this. Plus, on the road to recovery, the new location in Raleigh meant to help people beat addiction. And let's go ahead and step outside to get you a live look at Rocky Mountain Mills this morning. Our next weather maker brings another round of needed rain here locally, which is why meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is going to show you the timing and the rain totals we could see.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:44. We are starting warmer, but also a little bit wetter than we did yesterday. We have cloudy skies, and there are just a few patches where we're seeing some rain. Some of that back to our south and west is likely to creep into the Sandhills. A little bit of that up near the Virginia line, and then in Wilson County, just a little sprinkle. What we see this morning will be very patchy and light, only looking at about a 20% chance, and that's going to be about it. Now, overnight tonight and then into the first part of the day tomorrow, we're going to have a better chance for rain. That could linger into Friday. So Thursday could be a pretty significant day for us. It will be a WRAL weather alert day, and we'll talk more about that coming up. We have the tower lit in pink, and of course, we know that Breast Health Month is October, but here at WRAL, it's important to us all year round. So on Wednesdays, we light the tower in pink, just to remind ladies to be careful with yourselves. All right, in Raleigh, it's a little bit breezy this morning. It's cloudy. It's a little warmer than yesterday. Our temperature is mostly in the low 40s, and so we're not near freezing this morning. If you're headed out and about this afternoon, it'll feel a little warmer than yesterday with mid 50s, but we're looking at 60s later in the week, Chris.
Well, dozens of FBI witness interviews from the Jeffrey Epstein investigation appear to be missing from the millions of files the DOJ released last month. That's according to a review by CNN. Files missing include 3 interviews related to a woman who accused President Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her decades ago. The White House called the allegations, quote, false and sensationalist. A DOJ spokesperson denied any records were deleted and stressed the department was following the law. They said documents not included in the release were either duplicates, privileged, or part of an ongoing federal investigation. The judge in the capital murder case of Charlie Kirk declined to disqualify the prosecutors. Tyler Robinson is the man charged with killing Kirk. Robinson was in court yesterday, and his legal team claimed there was a conflict of interest because a prosecutor's 18-year-old child was in the crowd when Kirk was shot. Well, yesterday, the judge ruled the family relationship did not cross constitutional boundaries. Robinson's next court appearance is set for next month. Paramount increased its proposal in the bidding war with Netflix to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers says that Paramount's offer raises the price from $30 to $31 per share. This means the company is valued at $77 billion, and it also includes a $7 billion safety net in case the deal gets blocked, and reimbursement to cancel its deal with Netflix. Now, if the board of directors goes with Paramount's deal, Netflix would have 4 days to counter this bid. A new recovery space is available in Wake County for people going through challenges in their lives. Look at this. State health leaders cut the ribbon on the new Raleigh Recovery Cafe on North Harrington Street. The cafe provides meeting areas and wellness spaces, and the goal of this place is to offer support in a non-traditional setting. The cafe can be used by people experiencing substance use, mental health challenges, even homelessness.
In the short time that they've been operating this hub in a temporary location before moving to this beautiful space, they've raised over 850 people. 850 people otherwise be walking around in pain and suffering are able to get care because of what they provide.
The state provided more than $688,000 to make the Raleigh Recovery Cafe possible. Kane Realty broke ground on a new apartment complex in North Hills and Raleigh. The developer is building a facility with more than 330 apartments, and it'll be called the Tributary. The building will have retail spots on the ground floor along Hardemont Road. And this is part of several projects in North Hills planned by the company. The city of Raleigh has a new resource for you to track construction happening near you. This might be useful if you're trying to get around town. So the Raleigh Active Construction Tracker is an interactive map showing where construction is happening. It shows state projects, city projects, even private work. You can search by an address or a neighborhood, and then you can click on the icon associated with the project to learn more about what work is being done. The city plans to update this map regularly, and you can access it on their website. All right, the big thing we're paying attention to today is much needed rain that is slated to come to our area. That is the next weather maker that meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is showing. And I can see on the radar behind you there exactly what we're going to be seeing.
So we have a cold front that is starting to drop in a little bit closer to us. Ahead of a cold front, we often see wind coming out of the southwest. And this high pressure system is really zipping offshore quickly, but around it has winds that rotate clockwise. So we're in a much warmer flow for today. It drags moisture in. Then again, out ahead of that front, we're going to see a few sprinkles this morning. But that front is going to help to bring us a much better chance for rain for tomorrow. We'll take a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar. A little bit of light rain is likely to move on into the Sandhills here in the next hour or so. Just a little patchy rain there in Wilson County and up near the Virginia line. But there's not much out there, and we won't see very much rain for it today. Here's a look at Futurecast, and it might be slightly overdone this morning with a little bit of rain there up in the north. We're going to see all that tapering off by lunchtime, and in the afternoon, there might be a few holes in the clouds, but today's going to feel pretty cloudy. Then overnight, we see more waves of rain moving in. This is around midnight, 1 a.m., and then it's likely to be wet for the commute tomorrow. And you can see that at 5:45, 6 o'clock, and it's likely to continue through much of the commute. So tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day, I should say. Our rain chance most likely in the morning, and then another round potentially during the evening commute. Right now, our flood risk is low, but it's looking like we could see up to an inch of rain. We could use everything that we could get. It's a little breezy this morning. That southwest wind is gusting about 10 to 15 miles per hour. You can see the flags here flying down Fayetteville Street as we take a look from our Jimmy V camera. 40 degrees right now. That southwest wind at about 10, and our temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 50s this afternoon, which is pretty close to normal. Again, gusting to around 16 in South Hill and 19 in Goldsboro, but it will become more windy tomorrow as our front gets closer to us. Mid to upper 50s for highs this afternoon around the viewing area, Raleigh, Durham, and Fayetteville, and that warm up today, about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday, all thanks to that flow coming out of the southwest. And that will be with us for the next several days. So that will keep things warm for us. Tomorrow we should hit 60 even with clouds and rain. Slightly cooler Friday. But boy, the weekend is looking phenomenal. 65 on Saturday and 73 on Sunday. Chris over there was like, what? He got up out of his chair. Not that he has one, but he would have. All right. Rainy on Thursday. But that's all the rain and our forecast until we get into next week, which leaves us with a nice looking weekend, Chris.
Look, Jordy just got a new stroller, so this is just stroller weather this weekend. That's why I'm hyped about it. Thanks, Elizabeth. Well, your time right now is 4:50. Going to the cottage. Heated rivalry fans can soon stay at the site of the secret retreat in the show. The cost and where you can book a spot. Plus, a lesson in empathy. A swim team's special surprise for an important person in their community. A new addition to Bruce Springsteen's upcoming tour and a look at the upcoming season of For All Mankind. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Underlying all of my work is the political message that you are an agent of history, that you are an agent of history.
Tom Morello is switching gears. The musician and activist has canceled his spring solo concerts to join Bruce Springsteen's Land of Hope and Dreams American tour. Springsteen made a guest appearance at Morello's Defend Minnesota concert last month in Minneapolis. Morello says he's joining Springsteen's tour in the spirit of freedom, justice, and rock and roll.
Time is running out, and they're going to destroy any hope of a tomorrow up here.
Change happens when a few determined individuals make it happen.
We need to take matters into our own hands.
Mars is ours! Mars is ours!
Settlers on the red planet chafe at Earth trying to control them from 140 million miles away in Season 5 of For All Mankind. The official trailer shows a new generation and some familiar faces in the alternate timeline space race series, which returns March 27th on Apple TV. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
for All Mankind is such an amazing show. I love it. All right, so soon, fans of the new show Heated Rivalry will be able to rent out the cottage from the show. I am told it is a very interesting place. I have not seen the show, though. Starting March 3rd, the house at the center of season 1 finale will be available on Airbnb. And this cottage is in Ontario, Canada, and it cost around $181 US per night. Novo Nordisk says that it is cutting the list of prices of Wegovy and Ozempic to $655 for a 1-month supply. That's more than $300 less than the current price for all 3 medications. The cuts will also apply to some oral pills, and the new prices begin next year. Students at a Dallas high school are learning something that cannot be taught in the classroom. The custodian has been sick and in and out of the hospital, and they have been unable to work with medical bills stacking up. And so the swim team at his school organized a swim-a-thon to raise money for their friend.
Like if you see him in the hallway, he'll give you a high five or a hug and like, oh, he's just so sweet.
We want to change a life, and we want to do things that will help other people.
The student raised more than $1,700. Well, coming up in the next hour, relief after the Morrisville fire. Dozens of people were displaced after a devastating apartment fire. How the Red Cross is stepping in to support them. Plus, EMS changes. Today, Wake County EMS will be talking about the ways they're working to improve response times. How you can share your thoughts. Plus, helping Make-A-Wish, the partnership with one airline and RDU making sick children's dream come true.